Welcome to Buffington Park. I wanted to double check and make sure I had the place tagged right, and I didn't know what it was called, but it is Buffington Park. And before I get this video going, I have a big smile on my face because lady that lives right there, I stopped to see I'm parked in front of her house, and we talked, and she's almost 90 years old. Big shout out to you, Shirley. She asked me if I could help her have a voice and ask why this building has not been torn down, or these buildings next to her. She holds it down. Look how nice her yard is, that first house right here where I'm parked. And big shout out to her. She was such a sweetheart. It was cold, or if I could have stood there and talked to her for an hour. And next time I come back this way, I'm gonna make sure I stop over here and say hello to her again. What a wonderful, sweet lady. And yeah, she asked me if I can somehow include that old apartment building. She said there was always an old apartment building, if I can ask about it being torn down. So that's what I'm gonna do. Here we are. This is the old monument at Buffington Park on the east side of Broadway. And as you can see, 2741 9845 East Side Honor Roll. Franklin O. Roosevelt, those who served our country in World War II. Let's get it. Oh boy, I caught the sun out. Alright, let's see what I can do here. I want to make sure that I get all the names. And if you think that I'm going too fast, or you didn't catch it, you can always hit pause and read them back. But I wanted to make sure I got all the names on here at least. I thought it was the least I can do. Isn't that amazing? From here in Gary. And if you have a relative or somebody that is on here, you know, it's kind of a way of remembering them. They got stars next to some of them. I'm not quite sure why, but let me back up. I want to get all this. I have done this before. Me and the social rec came by here years ago and did this, but I wanted to make sure I did another one for the subscribers who are just now finding the channel. And people say that well, no, I'm not gonna say it like that. I have people ask me why I do not do anything good in Gary, and that's just not true. I have a lot of good videos in Gary. Over 2,600 videos. Been doing this for 7 years now, and you just have to look through them. But there's a lot of other things that need to be addressed, and I think that that's top priority, because it does get these places cleaned up and torn down. And just like the Shirley over here, she asked me, when I asked her what this park was, she told me it was Buffington Park. And she said, what are they going to do about this buildings over here? Why do I have to look at that? They all drive right past here and go to City Hall, and they talk about all this, and they just, you know, look at this. I mean, this is a great example of some of the things that need to be addressed. I mean, look at this monument. And there's actually a plaque at the bottom. I'm going to show you that at the end. But, you know, I just feel that Gary, Indiana has gotten a bad reputation because of the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years. And it's a shame, because once upon a time, it was such a wonderful place to be. I mean, you know, it was the city of the century. And things change, you know. I mean, we can see that everywhere. From California to Hollywood, you know, things change. It's a new day and time. People have different priorities. I mean, look, right here, there's, you know, if people don't respect, a lot of people don't respect things like this. Erected by East Side Honor Roll Club, 1945. Alright, let's see if there's anything on this. I keep kicking glass bottles, and I am going to do why I'm here. This is Buffington Park. I can see there's an old fenced in, I don't know if that's a pool or what, or a playground, but looks like a pool to me. I have not done this one because I have been concentrating on so many other things, but we'll get Buffington Park in here too. Oh yeah, here it is. Another side. between 41 and 45. East Side Honor Roll. Those who served our country in World War II. I'd like to dedicate this video to all the people on this plaque. You're not forgotten, and thank you for your sacrifice to fight for our freedom and fight for our country. If you're someone who has a loved one or a family member who is on the wall, this is for you too. I just want to make sure these people are not forgotten. It sits over here and it just, you know, has no attention to it. And I wanted to highlight it at Buffington Park, 7th and Broadway, our east side, 7th Avenue. And yeah, me and Shirley, we talked for a little bit, and it was so nice. She put a big smile. I smiled the whole time I was talking to her. At first, she's like, "Who are you?" And I kind of explained. She goes, "I don't watch YouTube. My daughter probably does." And I just kind of explained to her who I was and what I do. And we got to talking, and she asked me if I would put that building, that old apartment building, on this video for her and say, "Please, can you please tear this thing down? It looks terrible." And her point, she made a good point. She said that everybody on the way to City Hall has to go this way. This is on 7th. So I wanted to make sure that her voice was heard. And these people on this monument are not forgotten. Let me start here. If you're new to the channel, there's so much to see. You'll never get caught up. So feel free to indulge yourself. You don't have to worry about made up stories or trying to trick you with titles and all that. It is what it is, and I've documented so many places that you would not have thought about, and they're all here on the channel. And once again, I would like to invite you to go look at those. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I have. I'll see you next video, and big shout out to Shirley who lives right there. Plead to the city, please tear this down. That mess doesn't need to be there. See you next video.